Sit back, relax, and enjoy, because, ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime!
It's not gonna happen, and Daniel McMillan,
Pennsylvania native, kept here winning here at Pocono.
Third win of the season, and you'll win the championship.
Ryan Benjamin with the last lap pass, and he is going to score the victory in the Minute Maid 300.
Sam Oskin, third win of the season! He's gonna get it and only leads 3 laps today!
Welcome to the NOFSRL.
Hello everybody, this is Napa Fan here, and this is race number 27 in season number 9 of the NOFSRL Chick-fil-A Cup Series. We are here at the Watkins Glen International in Watkins Glen, New York, and we are going to cap off Super Glen Week on Napa Fan. We may still have some other races coming up for you this weekend from the Watkins Glen International, but this will conclude the Watkins Glen festivities here on this channel, and we've had a lot of excellent races, from Turkey Hill Series to both excellent IndyCar races, now down to the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, and only 4 races remain on the schedule until we crown a champion on Labor Day weekend at Darlington. And I'll join alongside Matt Tuck once again. This is a very pivotal race because where you start relatively means where you're going to finish later on in the race. It's difficult to work your way from the back to the front, and Nathan Baird is the lowest qualified chase driver in this field, but he comes in with a 30-point lead. How do you think that Nathan Baird is going to manage this race and have a shot at clinching the championship here within the next couple of weeks?
Well, I mean, obviously he's starting pretty far back in the field today, so obviously the big thing for him is going to be trying to find the way to get track position, but obviously if in the event you can't, you know, the big thing is going to be don't find a way to blow your lead. You know, don't do anything that's going to put you into more of harm's danger. It's going to cause you to lose your points lead because at this point in the season, you know, you do still have to play some bit of defense, and you don't want to lose all the points you've spent weeks trying to gain that lead up, you know, in just one race, trying to maybe make a bad move somewhere around this road course.
Yes, and we've seen in the IndyCar series so far this weekend how if you race too aggressively, that will hurt you in the championship. I'm not going to go into any details on that because Matt's in those series, and I don't want to give anything away with him. But you guys obviously know what happened in both races, and definitely very, very interesting racing over there. And we're going to see something very similar here. It's a 15-lap race. These guys go a lot slower, and we will have a pit stop around, I say, 2/3 of the way through the race. So it's going to be interesting to see how that affects the outcome. But one thing these guys have to be careful of is not to damage the race car before the cycle of pit stops, because if they do, they're going to be on the pit lane for longer than those who do not wreck the race car or damage the race car before those cycle of pit stops. The exit of turn 11 comes at you really fast, and a lot of times we saw it in qualifying, we saw it in the Turkey Hill Series. These guys overshoot that corner, and they gain significant left side damage. Those who can keep their cars clean before that cycle of pit stops will probably be at advantage once we get through that cycle later on in the race. But in the championship standings, Nathan Baird holds on to the points lead, 2,190 points towards the championship for our defending champion. 30 points behind him. Second in the points is Silas Orta in the number 3. Alexander Rowe, 38 points behind. Then Ryan Durrani, 41 points behind. Hergelarvan Alonso is 47 points behind. Sam Oskin, regular season champion, 49 points behind coming into this race. Mark Davidson, 32, or should I say 52 points behind Jesse Turner. 60 points behind Fisher G, the highest qualifying chase driver in the field. 66 points behind Shane Lake, 73 points behind, and Reagan Whitlock 112 points behind coming into today's event. Ace Garcia and John R make up row number 1. Then it's Fisher G and LJ Cimento. They actually tied in qualifying, but Fisher G has more points, so he gets to start in the 3rd position. In row number 3, Trey Bartow in the number 4. A huge opportunity for him here today to possibly get his final career Chick-fil-A Cup Series race victory. Only 4 more races in the number 4 machine before he hangs it up. We'll have to see if he can get a race victory in these next 4 weeks. Cody Sill alongside him, Armory Digital winner from earlier this year. Uncharted driver Chloe Reiner alongside Shane Lake in the number 15. Then it's Gatlin Downey and Matt Delio making up row number 5. We'll go through the field and show you where the chase drivers are. There's Ryan Durrani in the 68, not a bad starting position for him, but a lot of these chase drivers like Reagan Whitlock, Hergelarvan Alonso, Jesse Turner, Alexander Rowe, Sam Oskin, and Nathan Baird all starting deep in the field along with Silas Orta right there. They're all kind of in the middle of the field. Don't have any chase drivers in the last 10 positions starting for this race. Most of them are right in the middle, which means they could end up in any position once this race finishes up. Matt, we got a really solid field up front. A lot of guys who have not won in quite some time starting up front for this race. Who do you think is going to go to victory lane here in the Lake Effect Ice Cream 400K?
I mean, obviously it's a tough one here always to pick, because you never know what can happen here, and it's definitely one of the tougher places to pass, but I'm going to take a pick here, and we're going to say from row number 2, starting in that third position, or technically it's the third, Fisher G is going to pull off the win here today.
We'll have to see if Fisher G can have a shot at this championship. Comes in 66 behind. A win would really help him out in the championship standings. Here we go. Green flag in the air for the final race on Epiphan at Watkins Glen this weekend. The Lake Effect Ice Cream 400K is underway. And what a start for LJ Semedo. He's going to split the middle and take the race lead from the 4th starting position on the first turn. How about that for the North State Racing driver? John Art, Cody Sill, and Fisher G now in a battle with Ace Garcia. And as we have seen all weekend long, the pole sitter did not get going, and Ace Garcia falling back to the 4th position early on here at Watkins Glen. Now in the 5th position for the Hamill Racing Enterprises driver. There goes Shane Lakeland to the inside there. That is for 5th. Matt Dalio to the inside of Trey Bartow. Chloe Reiner getting a run as well. And for the race lead, John Art's right there, but Semedo holding on to the top position here on lap number 1.
I mean, you want to talk about ready to go. Semedo is ready to go. Arndt was ready to go. All those Dodges there. Sill was ready to go. All the Mopars up there. A trio of them flanking it up there at the start. Now Sill's going to go the inside, but what a start from those Dodges there. They were all set and ready to go on that restart, on that start, and just completely jumped Ace Garcia.
Of course, you mentioned restarts. That's something we will not have today. No cautions on the road courses, but like I mentioned, we will have a set of pit stops right around lap 9, lap 10 here at Watkins Glen, and that will definitely be a true factor to who gets the race victory. How about LJ Semedo, though, on the start from the 4th starting position? John Arndt overshot turn 1. Ace Garcia had the inside and could not hold it well, and Semedo just split the gap and took the race lead away. John Arndt's going to be in a tough position here off of turn number 11 on that outside lane, but he will avoid hitting the outside wall as LJ Semedo leads lap 1 here in the Lake Effect Ice Cream 400K.
He's opening a gap up, which is what he wants to do. Obviously, Arndt, who started in 2nd, he's still holding that spot off, but then you got a lot of guys. Fisher G was trying to make some moves. Sill's still hanging there with him. Looks like he's going to lose a spot. Ace Garcia, you got to be upset over the radio if you're him. Just could not get that car going on the start. Went from the pole. He's already in 5th. I mean, he's got to be careful. He's got a couple trio of Toyotas lined up behind him, all who are definitely hungry to snag another win here this season.
Especially Shane Lake going for his 4th win of the year. Of course, he comes in the penultimate spot in the chase standing, 73 points behind, so his odds at a championship aren't really there, but he's in a battle with Sam Oskin for the Rookie of the Year, and if he can get a good finish here today, he might be able to jump Oskin in that Rookie of the Year standings and possibly have a reserve for next year. And I know you'd love to have him back on the Velocitar Racing team for season at number 10. Gatlin Downey in a battle there with Matt Dalio. And it looks like Downey's going to get to the inside of Dalio there for the 7th position. Trey Bartow did not have a good start right there. He started in 5th, and he continues to fall back as Chloe Reiner looks to the inside of him for 9th. Cameron Garlington here as well in the 34.
Got a lot of guys who we haven't seen in a little bit up front here. Obviously, like we were saying, all the chase guys outside of, with the exception of Fisher, well, all the guys who are still left in the points, I guess with the exception of Fisher G, having poor qualifying runs here. See, Durrani's moving up a bit. All these guys back here, though, you've got Orta, Rowe, Alonso, Baird. They're not too far apart on track, separated by only about 10 to 12 cars. So, it's still anybody's game here early on, but Nathan Baird, so far so good as far as, he's not losing his lead too much here in the early going of this race.
But he is currently the lowest chase driver in the field, so his points lead will not be as much heading into Gateway next weekend if this stays up. We'd like to mention got a new driver in the number 40. How about Chase Harris here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series? Obviously, he's been ripping it up in the Haas IndyCar Series, but not really doing so right now. Definitely not a position you're used to seeing Chase Harris in there, in the last position so far here at Watkins Glen. LJ Cimento continuing to lead here at Watkins Glen. Such a great run there at the start. Then it's John Art, Fisher G, Cody Sill, and Ace Garcia, the top 5. Shane Lake, Matt Delio. It's still in a battle there with Gatlin Downey. These guys have fallen off a little bit from the top 6. Delio a little wide there. He's going to get into the outside wall just a little bit, and that will open the door for Gatlin Downey to possibly get to the outside through the toe. Here comes Bartow in the 4 as well. Great run for Bartow in this race. Shane Lakeland on the inside of Ace Garcia for 5th.
Shane Lake up there, he's having a good start in the team's home backyard here this weekend, getting the inside of Garcia. He's going to get him, and now now as we see up front, he's got 3 Dodges, a Chevy to take down. Going to be interesting to watch. Ooh, Garlington fading, making it 3 wide.
Yepez there, also in the middle of this 3 wide situation. This is going to get interesting if they keep 3 wide. And Garlington not giving an inch right there. Yepez almost going off the racetrack. And Garlington's going to be in a sticky situation off the corner right here, but he'll roll the outside, tap the outside wall just a little bit. And like I mentioned, the guys who overshoot that corner before the cycle of pit stops, they're going to be on the pit lane much longer for their pit stop than a lot of the guys who keep their cars clean in this race. So guys like Cameron Garlington, who just hit the outside wall you saw right there, they may not end up getting as good of runs as they're currently running. So it's going to be interesting to see how that affects them. LJ Cimento able to pull away here. That number 66 is on rails right now. And John Art, it's not even really like John Art got into the wall or overshot any corner. That 66 is just simply that fast. And Cimento looking for his first career Napa fan win here today. Yeah, pretty big race to do it in. Fisher G going to look to the inside of John Art. That 05 just might not have the best setup right now. And Shane Lake, how about these chase drivers moving their way through the field? They're 2 of the lowest chase drivers in the points right now, but they're doing the best of the chase drivers here today at Watkins Glen.
No, I mean, obviously they see these road courses anytime you come out here. It's always, it's sort of an equalizer. You always see guys who may not do as good show up, run well. We're seeing that so far here. Obviously, Lake has run well this season. He's got 3 wins, but hasn't put together the points finishes. Fisher G ran well early in the season, kind of fell off in the middle. We'll see, you know, what he can get out of today here, but he's looking good. He's up 2nd, the best non-Dodge there in the field, splitting up that top 3. You got Lake closing in. You know, these guys 4th through about 6th and 7th are starting to close back in, but that 66 is Cimento. It's going to take somebody, maybe some fresh tires or a bad pit stop by his team for him to get caught, because that 66 car is just flying.
A little wide there off of turn 11. But, you know, generally keeping it clean so far. Bartow might get an advantage here on Gatlin Downey. And you remember the Season 7 race here at Watkins Glen. We had a side-by-side battle at the line, and that was because the race leader overshot turn number 11. We may see that again here today. You just never know. Cimento's done a good job keeping it clean, but don't want to gain any damage, and if you do, you're going to be on the pit lane for an extended period of time. That's what we saw in the Turkey Hill Series. Jonathan Logan dominated that race and had a 3-second lead before the cycle. Overshot turn number 11 beforehand and had to repair the damage, and Christian Vargas behind him was able to surpass him on the pit lane to take home the race win. So Cimento's got to be careful to not let that happen to him. Fisher G knows this is a good opportunity for him to possibly get a race victory and close in on Nathan Baird in the points. We'll go back through the field and see where that number 16 is. And Nathan Baird, he's trying, but he's still the lowest chase driver in the field in 33rd right now. Not exactly where you want to be here if you're the points leader. No doubt about that. Obviously, we saw what happened in the IndyCar Series with Chase Harris in the first race. We have yet to record the second race yet, but that's going to hurt Baird in the points. No doubt about it, with all the other Chase drivers ahead of him on the racetrack. Brad Stover currently the last guy on the racetrack right now with Patrick Simpson. Nobody has retired yet in this race, which is great to see. Pretty clean race so far here at Watkins Glen here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. We're about to be completing a third of the event here in the Lake Effect Ice Cream 400K.
Ticking off the laps pretty quick here, too. Obviously, these guys are definitely putting down, I don't know exactly what the lap times are at right now, but they're definitely putting down fast laps here. Everybody seems to be, oh, Fisher G. That is going to hurt his chances severely of winning this race. The Arndt's going to dart down to the inside of him. Sill's going to go with him. I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, it looks like we had an accident. Tristan Allen in the 06 with heavy damage on the pit lane. And you'll see what happened on the inside. Looks like we might have had a pretty big accident. Iquan has him also on the pit lane as well. Go through the field here and see if there's anyone else who might have been involved. Sebastian Kukulon in the 13, also majorly torn up. Looks like we had a pretty big one right here. Patrick Smith, obviously we saw him have the damage earlier on, but this split up the pack a little bit. A lot of guys in the back of the field, and Mark Davidson, I think maybe the only chase driver heavily involved in this one. Such a tough break there for Davidson, but it's just the way it goes. He came in this race 52 points behind. It'll probably be a little bit more than that at the end of the day. Did not affect Nathan Baird, but Nathan Baird's still deep in the field right now as he crossed the line 26. Did gain a few positions because of that, but he's still one of the lowest chase drivers in the field right now.
Yeah, we're going to have to see here. That's, first off, that was a pretty, that definitely looked like a pretty bad wreck there. I don't know how that happened, but it helps Baird a little bit. That obviously gives him a couple guys who are out of the race, but still, he's still sitting there behind. But, you know, again, just going back to the guys who he's racing in the points are not having good days. So while he's not having a good day, obviously not the last guy anymore, but last remaining chase guy on track, you know, the guys around him, Rowe, Orta, they're still not having good days. So it does help him there. But see, up front, I think they're starting Fisher G. You know, Fisher G, he slapped that wall there. He has not fallen off. He got back around. He kept Sill from getting around him. So it looks like that 7 car still fast here, but nobody seems to. Oh, Ace Garcia, day just gets worse for him. But regardless, still up front, it's still Semedo. I don't know if anybody's going to be able to catch him without some bad luck for that 66 because he is flying here today.
Yeah, and it helps that he doesn't have anyone around him either. He's got that 2.5 second lead. He doesn't have to battle with John Arndt and these guys for position. Bill Fisher G slowing these guys down a little bit, trying to battle with John Arndt. And you got Shane Lake here as well. These guys looking to shoot their way into possible championship contention here late in the going. And you mentioned, you know, guys like Alexander Rowe, who's 19th right now, currently is 6 positions ahead of Nathan Baird. Silas Orta is also ahead of Nathan Baird, and he is 4 positions ahead. So they would still be, both Alexander Rowe and Silas Orta would be within a race worth of points. However, you see the damage on Orta's machine. That is going to hurt Orta a ton because he's going to have to get that damage repaired on the pit lane, and that's going to slow his pit stop down tremendously. Alexander Rowe, however, does have a relatively clean race car, so Rowe looks to possibly finish ahead of Nathan Baird. If he can do that, that means that he's still within a race worth of points on Nathan Baird heading him to Gateway next week, which means Alexander Rowe is still going to have a shot at this Chick-fil-A Cup Series Championship. Nathan Baird's had a strong run as of late. Didn't have a good qualifying effort, but he's managing this race. That's all you got to do at some points. He's doing a good job right now, holding on to his 26th position and not losing any more points than what he could.
Back up front, Fisher G, Shane Lake trying to gain as much points as they can. Obviously, Fisher G just trying to maybe save that dying breath to see if he can get back into the championship hunt. Shane Lake trying to knock off Sam Oskin for Rookie of the Year. Still got into the wall hard there. Not sure, it just looked like he slid up in the corner, but that's going to be a tough one for him. He looked like he piled. He's got a little bit of damage, but should be okay to go. But it's going to be interesting here. These guys are starting to spread out. See, it almost, you have to wonder, Arndt and G, I think they might actually close by about a 10th that lap, but they're not gaining, and they keep racing each other, which obviously I get, but you know, the more they race each other, the more that 66 to LJ Semedo is going to become a speck in the distance.
Yeah, John Arndt and Fisher G both have an opportunity of winning this race. I think the best idea is to come down a lap before the race leader. I mean, we're within the window now to make it to the end on one stop. So if I'm John Arndt Fisher G, I might want to come down a lap before and possibly get a bit of advantage on the tire wear compared to LJ Semedo. But if I'm LJ Semedo, I might want to come down right now because then I'll get the advantage on everybody else. You don't have to worry about a caution coming out. We're on a road course. So the strategy play may affect who gets this race victory. But either way, LJ Semedo still holding on to this race lead right here as we're past halfway in the Lake Effect Ice Cream 400K. Fisher G continues to battle with John Arndt here for second. Fisher definitely wants to have that second position. He might actually get it right here as they go through the heel. They're going to be side-by-side off of that corner right there, and that is going to give an advantage to LJ Semedo. So we're just going to have to see if they remain side-by-side off of turn number 11. John Arndt's in that outside position. He may end up shooting to the outside wall if he's not careful.
Yeah, he's going to have to be careful because obviously he's racing Fisher G pretty hard there, and when you get stuck on the outside,
oh boy, LJ Sametto just hit the outside wall. He's going to have a lot of damage. Fisher G now in second. That's going to mean an extended pit stop there for LJ Sametto. You can see the damage to the number 66 machine. Fisher G doesn't have near as much damage, neither does Shane Lake or John Arnn, or even really Cody Sill. That is going to be huge, and he lost a ton of ground because he overshot the corner right there. Off the racetrack is Mark Davidson in the 95, who was already involved in an accident. His day continues to get worse. Nathan Baird's now up to 23rd, and Alex Enro is in the 18th position, so we're going to have to see how it all goes down. I did see Trey Bartow come down the pit lane. I believe that was a scheduled stop for Bartow, and it is. He's going to be taking 4 tires, I do believe, and he's going to head back onto the racetrack. We'll have to see if he gains any advantage on the field. Brett Sierra in the 04. It looks like he's had a tough day, and he is in the garage. But Brad Stover's a lap down. Nick One has him lap down. Out of the race includes Sebastian Kukalon and Tristan Allen. And I believe Mark Davidson might join him here soon, along with Brett Sierra in the 04. Obviously, in the corner of your screen, you see all the replays of the accidents that take place as they happen on the racetrack. Nathan Faden in the battle right now with Matt Dalio. But this is going to be interesting. If Sametto has an extended pit stop here, these guys behind him, they are all going to be battling for this race victory, and they are all on each other right now. And we all know what happened in season number 7. We had all those guys bunch up right there at the end, and it was an excellent finish. Well, we may be seeing that here today at Watkins Glen. They closed in a lot on LJ Sametto that last lap, but Sametto's going to have an extended pit stop to repair the damage here on the number 66 machine.
I think he's coming in from the looks of it. Let's see here. I think they're all coming in now. Let's see here. Oh,
they are.
Okay. Well, let's see how this plays out. All the leaders pit. I don't think there's any. Well, yeah, I don't think there's anybody who took the undercut. I think everybody looks like they're playing the same strategy here.
But Bartow took the undercut. No one's going to try to overshoot it here. So everybody down pit lane, essentially. LJ Sametto in the 66. And even if LJ Sametto doesn't have to repair damage, they were all still on each other when they came down the pit lane. This is going to be a really tight battle, but this could be for the race win right here. And we saw in the Turkey Hill Series race, Jordan Lopez was on the pit lane. Someone came in right on him, and he wrecked on the pit lane and could not get the race victory. They're still repairing damage on the number 66 of Sametto. And Fisher G is going to win the race off the pit lane, followed by Shane Lake, Nathan Faden, and John Arnn. Shane Lake going to get an advantage here on the number 7 machine. They got to wait until they exit the pit lane so they don't speed. But look at this right here. Fisher G with a pretty significant gap on Shane Lake right here. Nathan Faden as well, but I would imagine that Shane Lake might be able to close in. Look at Trey Bartow here in the 4. He gained a lot of ground on these guys here. He's nowhere near the race lead, but he gained a lot of positions from where he was running with that strategy. But Fisher G wins the race off the pit lane, and LJ Sametto is going to fall back through the field roughly around the 15th position after he had to repair damage from overshooting turn number 11. There goes Bartow around the 05 machine. Iquan has him in the 64, is currently a lap down. So that means that these 3 guys are in the battle for the race win. Fisher G, Shane Lake, and Nathan Faden. Here comes Bartow. Looks like Bartow's going to get around the 64 here. We'll have to see if Bartow has any advantage on these top 3.
Bartow's definitely not done. I don't know what his lap times. Do we have his last lap time?
Well, we would have to pull up the telemetry for that, and we don't particularly like doing that.
Yeah, we don't have that.
But
he is flying.
Yeah, he is. We'll have to see what this lap is for him, but he is closing in on these Velocitar guys ahead of him, and these Velocitar guys are right on Fisher G here for this race lead. We could see ourselves a 4-car battle for the race win here in the Lake Effect Ice Cream 400K. Bartow is coming. Faden going to try to battle with his teammate Shane Lake. I don't know if I would be doing that if I was his teammate. You want to help that guy and get to the race leader of Fisher G. Fisher G in the number 7. Going to go a little wide right there. Shane Lake's going to hit the outside wall. Here comes Bartow in the number 4. He's going to look to take 3rd away from Shane Lake. And it looks like he will do so. Bartow is coming in the number 4. He is only 2 seconds off the race lead. That is a plenty small enough gap to close in by the end of the race. But Fisher G looking to run a clean one here in these last 5 laps, get his 2nd win of the season, and move up in the points. Important to realize where Nathan Baird is after that cycle. He's down in 20th. Alex Enro is 16th. Silas Orta fell back to 27th as he had to repair damage, but Alexander Rowe looking to close in on Nathan Baird in the point standings. I believe he might be able to do so heading in the Gateway next weekend, which will mean that Rowe is still very much in this championship hunt. Matt Dalio looking to the inside of John Art. Contact there off the corner. And Matt Dalio almost pushing John Art off the racetrack. We saw that yesterday in the IndyCar Series race. I don't really want to see it again here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, but either way, Fisher G, 1.5 second lead right now. Nathan Faden, Trey Bartos, Shane Lake, and this is the battle for 5th between Matt Dalio and John Arnn. It looks like Dalio's going to take it away from the 05.
You got Dalio on a storm here above, but he doesn't have, I don't think he's almost, take a look there, he's about 5 seconds off the leaders, at least at the last time in scoring loop. Now he is closing a little bit, it looks like, but really it's going to be, of these top 4 here, going to probably be the ones to settle it. Oh, John Arnn is not done with Dalio. He gets back to the inside.
I don't think he's too happy with that move he put on the carousel right there. Obviously, Luke Rainey wasn't too happy on Friday in the IndyCar Series race with Tristan Allen. I don't think these guys are going to be happy with each other with that move. It's going to be a tight one here off the corner. John Arnn on the outside lane. Oh, and they're still side by side as we hit 4 laps to go here in the Lake Effect Ice Cream 400K. Nathan Faden closed in. 1.29 seconds for Faden. 1.81 for Bartow. They are closing on Fisher G. The big question is, will they have enough time to get to his back bumper? And even if they get to his back bumper, will they be able to make the move for the race win?
You're going to need to close more than 3/10 a lap. You're probably going to need about 4 to 5/10 here if you want to have a chance. Obviously, you know, Fisher G hits the wall. I mean, it's game on for this top 4 here, but, you know, Fisher G, he's just got to be careful here. You cannot mess up, but you're also going to have to probably push because that 12 car's pushing hard. That 4 car, obviously, we know he's pushing hard. He wants to get that redemption for Hillside. It's going to get really close here. It looks like they're all going to catch each other on the last lap, but Fisher G, he's holding on for dear life right now. Faden is definitely going to be closer. I think he's going to be
Fisher G wide through the heel, or should I say through the toe, and that's going to bring in Faden and Bartow here, and we're going to have ourselves a 4-car battle here eventually. That number 7, I should say, is struggling out there on the racetrack, and they go through the heel right here. Faden's going to be right on him, and that pressure that Faden's going to apply to Fisher G might cause him to overshoot turn 11, and like you said, if that happens, then it's game on. Coming to 3 laps to go here in the Lake Effect Ice Cream 400K, an excellent race here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. Fisher G trying to hold these guys off, but Faden, Bartow, and Shane Lake all on him. Off of turn number 11, Fisher G wide hard in the outside wall. Faden's going to have to slow down. They wreck. The leaders wreck. Bartow got into him, and Shane Lake clears to the race lead here at Watkins Glen. Bartow is destroyed, and so is Fisher G. 2 of the top guys leading in this race. They are going to be out on lap 13 here at Watkins Glen. And from the 4th position, Shane Lake has cleared to the race lead with 3 laps to go. Unreal. Wow, and this thing is far from over. You got to remember, Shane Lake has some left side damage. Faden had to check up. Here comes Dalio. The 75 is going to take second away from Faden. Faden may have a little bit of damage there from the Bartow and G incident. They may end up side by side, though, entering the boot here, and that's going to be music to Shane Lake's ears if they are. Dalio going to hold on and clear Faden for second. So now, will Dalio close in on Shane Lake? That is the question. Such a heartbreaker for Fisher G and especially Trey Bartow, who had a shot at getting his first win of the season. It will not happen. These guys got to be careful because Bartow's moving up the S's here. He missed the pit lane. And if our leaders come up on him... He's out of the racing
lane, though. He's out of the racing line.
Hopefully we do not run into him in a tight part on the racetrack. They're all getting around Faden right now. John Art, Diego Yepes, Cody Sill as well. Matt Dalio in second. Will he close in on Shane Lake, or will Shane Lake pull away with this one? What if the 15 overshoots the corner like Fisher G did? Fisher G hit the corner and spun around all on his own. Shane Lake in the 15, hard into the outside wall. He almost spun around. Dalio's going to gain a lot of time on him right there. It's going to be 2 laps to go here to Lake Effect Ice Cream 400K. Shane Lake, 1.62 seconds on Matt Dalio with 2 laps to go here at Watkins Glen. Fading down to 5th.
And I mean, well, I don't know. This is going to be tough. Lake is not. Shane's not hitting his corner, his turn 11 very well. Everywhere else, he seems to have a very, very good car, but turn 11, he's just not. He's sliding it every time. Uh-oh.
Yeah, this could be an issue off the carousel. They got to be careful with Trey Bartow. Shane Lake, Matt Dalio. And I believe Bartow will be out of the way enough.
Oh, is he coming back down?
He's trying to stay off the racetrack, and he is doing a good job of that, making sure these leaders get by. There's not really much room to go for him. There really isn't an apron here, so he's got to run through the grass, but it looks like these guys are spread out enough where he shouldn't be an issue. Shane Lake trying to hold on, but Matt Dalio is coming in the number 75, and John Art as well. John Art has yet to win a race this season. He's had a really tough season in the NO5 machine. His teammate, the number 40 team, have run a lot stronger than he has, and that's been a little bit disappointing for John Art, who's a 21-time winner on Apafan. We're just going to have to see. He's a little ways behind Dalio at this point, but Dalio is a much faster car right now than Shane Lake. The big question is, will Dalio have enough time to get around Shane Lake? We're coming to the white flag. Here in the Lake Effect Ice Cream 400K at Watkins Glen in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. Dalio is there. Shane Lake's got to be careful not to overshoot the corner.
He's going to be too wide.
And he's going to be wide. Here comes Dalio in the 75. It's going to be a close one. White flag in the air here at Watkins Glen. Shane Lake, Matt Dalio going for the race win here with 1 lap to go.
Dalio, they both curb hop. Now it's going to be who can nail their S's the best.
Oh, look at Dalio. He's going to have a huge run down the backstretch. He is right there on Shane Lake, and I think the damage to the number 15 is just hurting him a little too much. Either way, I think Shane Lake needs to manage this run and get the points. He may not get the win, but get the points. He still has a shot at this championship, still has a shot at the Rookie of the Year, but to the inside for the race lead on the final lap. Matt Dalio's going to clear Shane Lake and take the lead away. How about this for Matt Dalio, the number 75, looking for his 2nd win of the season. Shane Lake is still there, however. Will Shane Lake take advantage of a Dalio mistake? And don't count out John or Cody Sill if these guys tangle. Only a couple more corners to go. Matt Dalio, Shane Lake trying to get a run on the inside there through the toe. And the 15's got a run. Matt Dalio trying to hold off Shane Lake. Will Shane Lake move to the inside? Through the heel. He will not. Dalio with the defensive line to the inside. And that right there might have just sealed it.
He's got to get through turn 11, though. He's got to get through, and he's got to get through 10. Make sure he doesn't hop over the curb in 10. Gets out of the boot. This is going to be really close.
Oh, Cody Sill from 4th is just blown up. Cody Sill is just blown up from the 4th position. Here we go. Matt Dalio, Shane Lake coming to the checkered flag. Dalio's got to be careful not to overshoot. He hit the wall. Here comes Shane Lake in the 15. Shane Lake does it again in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. He wins the Lake Effect Ice Cream 400K on a last lap pass. Sort of. He led at the white flag. Dalio took the lead away from him, but Dalio overshot turn 11, and for the 4th time this season, Shane Lake will go to victory lane in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, his 2nd in the chase. How about that for the driver of the number 15? Shane Lake once again wins here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series.
You want to talk about Mr. Right Place, Right Time. I guess since Kevin Harvick sort of has retired the closer to more of the dominator, we have to name Shane Lake the closer now. I don't know how you make this stuff up.
He's there all the time. Hillside. Remember what happened there. And here, Matt Dalio. I'm disappointed in Dalio. Obviously, as a team owner. He had every opportunity to win that race. Blew it right there on the last lap. Last corner. And just like in Season 7, the last corner pass. It's Shane Lake going to victory lane here in the Lake Effect Ice Cream 400K. Who would have known? Cody Sill, his clutch went bad. Still finished in 8th. Alexander Rowe ended up in 7th, while Nathan Baird finished 23rd. Rowe is going to really be at a good advantage heading into Gateway next Friday night in this championship. Definitely, in my opinion, the biggest chase winner here. Even though a chase driver won the race, Shane Lake still quite a ways behind in the points. He will gain on Nathan Baird by quite a bit in this one, but Alexander Rowe, definitely the big winner here. He'll be second in the points heading in the Gateway. We had a lot go on the racetrack. Iquan has him, and Andrew Miller a lap down. Everybody else finished on the lead lap, so definitely.
We're gonna have some chaos getting into pit road too.
Thankfully, it does not affect the outcome of the race. That's actually Ryan Arani finished 5th in this race. I didn't even notice that.
Now that's a big move.
That's another big one there. So Durrani and Rowe, as a matter of fact, they are going to be tied for second in the points heading in the Gateway next weekend. So watch out for Durrani and Rowe in this championship, looking to get to Nathan Baird. But in the end, it's Shane Lake on the victory lane here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series at Watkins Glen. I don't know. How about this whole weekend, man? I mean, all the races have just been insane. And then we get this. And I mean, I know you really, really, really want Shane Lake to come back next year. I really know that you want him to be the Rookie of the Year because I know you want him to come back because he has definitely done some wonders for your team here in season number 9 of the Chick-fil-A Cup Series.
No, I mean, obviously, we ended up with, we took win number 6 last week at Michigan. Now we got win number 7, so we can say, now we got the win by a whole extra race too. But either way, I mean, home race, could have had a 1-2. That would have been, obviously that would have been ideal. But taking a 1-4-9 in the home race and scoring a bunch of points, it's going to be interesting. Obviously, we can't win the championship at this point. Can't really win the owners.
I wouldn't necessarily say that. I mean, who knows? Shane Lake, I mean, obviously Shane Lake has surprised us this season. I mean, this was basically just like Hillside on a road course, if you think about it. Because Shane Lake, before Fisher G and Trey Bartow had their issue, he was 4th. And after all of that exchange, he took the race lead. Dallio passed him. But then Daly overshot the corner, and Shane Lake came right to the inside and take the win away. I mean, Shane Lake, so many opportunities where he shouldn't have won this race, essentially, and he still wins it. So, we'll have to see. He may end up winning this championship. And like I said, Nathan Baird there, he did a good job. I think considering where he started, he did what he could. Yes. But Alexander Rowe did even better. We'll have to see how he got to 7th. Let's go ahead and review some of these accidents that took place here at Watkins Glen. Well, this is what happened to Tristan Allen. Lap 5 of 15. Got in the Dale Lightning. Off of the heel. Hard into the inside barrier. And Kukulon had nowhere to go. But somehow everyone else avoided him right here. We thought this was a much bigger accident. I'm wondering if farther up ahead, Kukulon ended up getting into someone here. Yep, right there. Hit the barrier, and that slowed everyone behind down, including Iquan Haslam. The field was jammed up. That's why we had that split. Oh, man. And Brad Stover got into Keegan Thompson right there. Really bad wreck there for Anderson Racing with Iquan Haslam and Patrick Smith both getting caught up in that one. Tough break for all those guys involved. Only one chase driver was involved, but even Mark Davidson, well, he may just come down and repair damage from a different incident there. But still, Davidson had his own fair share of issues in this one here at Watkins Glen. This here was on lap number 11. Nathan Baird overshot one of the corners. He obviously already had some damage, but so something Nathan Baird was doing a lot. Oh, got him the turner there. Tough break there for Nathan Baird. He still salvaged a good run, but it could have been a lot better considering we had that big wreck just a couple laps after this. And this was the big moment of the race. Fisher G overshooting turn 11 and losing control of the car. Faden hit him, and so did Trey Bartow, and Shane Lake was the only one to get away from that one. And at this point, I'm not sure if they jammed the field up or what, because we still had Alexander Rowe move his way through the field very well and finished 7th, so we may have had something happen near the end of the race, but such a tough break there for Fisher G and Trey Bartow. Both drivers had an opportunity at winning this race, and neither of them will finish here at Watkins Glen. Diego Yepez in the number 88. This was, I believe, with 2 laps, coming to 2 laps to go, I should say. And, yeah, it just stopped on him. And, I don't think
a lot of reliability issues for Dodge.
Obviously, we saw Cody still have his issue there. LJ Cemental, look at all these guys. And Cameron Garlington had to do some evasive action right there to avoid the 88, but thankfully no one hit him there, as he was in a pretty vulnerable place on the racetrack when the engine decided to stop working on him. And this was another reliability issue here. On the white flag, Andrew Miller blowing up into turn 1, and I think someone runs into the back of him. It was... wait for it here. Nathan Baird. Oh, wow. And Reagan Whitlock getting caught up in that one. Ryan Benjamin and Chloe Reiner all with damage from that accident. That's going to cost Baird a couple of positions. Alexander Rowe is going to gain about 16, 17 points, I do believe, on Nathan Baird, which would put him 21, 22 points behind heading in the Gateway, which is easily made up. Could easily be made up at that Gateway race coming up next Friday night. This is going to be an interesting championship, but obviously the biggest moment of the race, I mean, the Fisher team wreck was pretty big, but this right here, coming to the checkered flag. Matt Dalio had gotten around Shane Lake, but Dalio pulled a Blaine Keys from Season 7. All he needed to do was just get through the corner, and he overshot it. Of course, Shane Lake was pressuring him from behind. And Matt Dalio, a massive mistake right here. This is going to cost him a race victory hard into the outside wall, and Shane Lake able to drive right by him for the race win. Matt, I don't know what you guys are doing on your team. 7 wins in 27 races. You guys have done an excellent job this season. I give you full congratulations, but how about that? Shane Lake does it again. 4th win of the season here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series Season 9.
Yeah, I don't know what it's kind of funny. 7 wins and still kind of lacking behind in some areas, but it's been interesting. You know, another great race here today. Closed another one out, and you know, on to Gateway, on to Daytona, and then wrapping it out at Darlington. It's going to be fast final weeks here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series Season 9 to see what we can close out here this year.
It definitely will be. Only 3 races remain. Next weekend, next Friday night, the AAA Missouri 600K. Then it's the Valvoline 400, the Crown Jewel event, or sort of Crown Jewel event. Not an official Crown Jewel event, but it's definitely one of the most legendary events in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. 32 laps at Daytona. That thing is going to be the penultimate race of the season. And, of course, the Mellow Yellow Southern 500 to cap off the season on Labor Day weekend at Darlington. It is going to be an intense run to the finish here, and this championship is far from over. Baird does not have that points lead like he did last year. We'll have to see if Alexander Rowe could possibly take it away from the last 3 races of the season. But either way, Shane Lake gets the race victory here at Watkins Glen. We will see you guys next weekend from Gateway Turkey Hill Series Thursday night and Chick-fil-A Cup Series Friday night. And then IndyCar goes to the Canadian Tire. Obviously, they got a great championship battle going on as well. Either way, thank you guys so much for watching. On behalf of Matt Tuck, congratulations to Shane Lake. And we will see you guys next week from Gateway. Here are the points for the Chick-fil-A Cup Series after 27 races and 7 races in the chase. And I will see you guys later.